Hi everyone, how are you doing? My name is Rehan. Many years ago, I found out about this university called the Singularity University in the UK, in the US, and then I visited it, and I wanted to create a space for students who can actually be ready for the 21st century. I did not enjoy my school life much, and I know a lot of other people who also did not, and I don't remember how much of the time which I invested or my parents invested in me going to the school was actually used in learning what I needed to learn for the real world. Now, as we all know, the school system has been designed 120 years ago, 140 years ago, and it was nobody anticipated Google, YouTube, and the internet. Even if they did, they wouldn't think nothing was prepared for it. So we are still focused on a school which is not preparing us for the real world. So I have acquired a school this year, and I want to do all kinds of experimentation and based on the learning of the wisdom of the people I know from all around the planet to create a space where we can actually make a difference. So one of the reasons, I am from Pakistan, and I see a leadership gap not just in Pakistan but actually everywhere on the planet. And one of the things which I see is that people in the last century or till now have been very shy to use technology and very shy to communicate what is on their mind, and they end up learning to communicate when they are 49 like I am. So that's too late. So what if we could teach them to communicate at a very young age and bring them in front of other people's eyes? For example, Malala, who was coached and now is a prodigy or known as a prodigy in the teaching space, and her father helped her get a voice on Blogger when she was 8 or 9 years old. So I want to create a similar space but using video. And the primary purpose of wanting to have a school was that our students can take on a problem for the next 2 to 4 years. So, for example, they will say, okay, I want to solve the electricity problem, and I know nothing about it, but I'm very passionate about this because I have seen somebody suffer from electricity, somebody, not have, I'm going through the pain of not having electricity, or my father paying an enormous bill for electricity, whatever the reason is. So I inquisitively ask them what they think is the biggest problem in the world. And I try to get this through interesting questions. For example, what would you do if you find the lamp of Aladdin? Or what would you do if you have $1 million? Or what would you do if you win a lottery? So whatever, these questions, nobody asked them. So when they answer the question, I know that this is where they're inclined at. So I ask them, follow-up questions. What exactly, you know blah 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 blah, and leading into the right role for them. That, okay, how about you dedicating the next 2 years 1 hour a day on this subject? And they mostly agree. And then we suggest them, okay, now you know what, you are married to your mission. So your name is Electric Wala, just like Jack Smith or Iron Smith. So your electric is your problem, and we add a Wala so people know exactly what you're all about as soon as they see your name. I either know what Nivelle means, neither know what Gaunt means. So I can't figure out what you're all about. If you were Nivelle educationist, I would know exactly, oh, okay, this has something to do with education. So it's just my way of bringing more attention towards this child. And then I created a system where each student is given a video on that subject, every single day on a TED Talk. So they have to watch a TED Talk and then they make a video of that TED Talk in English and in Urdu. And then they tag the person who was the original speaker so that they start getting attention from the authority on that subject. So electricity space TEDx will give them 20 or 100 videos on electricity. And and when we tag, say Nivelle gave a TED talk on electricity, so we will tag him on LinkedIn, and he will be like, "Oh, who is this kid talking about my talk?" So they will get attention from the original person, right? And now they will be, because they also spoke in English, be it bad or good. They are 12-year-old child talking about electricity in Pakistan. Definitely, that will inquire and create curiosity in the mind of the person who was tagged, and then next day he sees another post like that, and next day he says another post like that, and I believe that out of 10 people, 4 will inbox them and say, what on earth is going on? Who are you, and why are you doing this? And that's where the change will start. Now they're communicating with the authority on the subject around the world and actually engaging in that conversation of, well, my job as a student in my school, which is a high school, is to learn about as much as I can about electricity for now. And then 3 months down the road, I will be learned enough to actually do some experiments on electricity and whatnot. So that's one thing. And then when I started doing this, when I got the school and everything, I ended up having a school in a very, very poor area. And there, the biggest problem is money. And the school fees was approximately £1 to £4 a month. And the teachers were getting, or still get, £20 a month, which is not much money. So being who I am, and I was talking about freelancing and computers and all, so I introduced a huge computer lab there, and I started. It took me months to get internet, months to get electricity, but finally it's up and running, and now we are 100% solar, and we have a good bandwidth coming in, around 200 megabits, which goes off sometimes, but we're working on it. But now these students are have everybody has their own Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter. I mean, it's getting there. So approximately 10 videos are coming out every day. My goal is to get everyone to do one video a day, but I'm still lagging behind because there's shyness in speaking. There's so much going on. So we have 2 video studios built already, run by a gentleman who refused to be on video a year ago. And now he is a champion in helping people to speak. He has practiced the whole year. He has his own studio now, who is he's very happy there, I think. But at the same time, he has made his primary job to encourage others to have a conversation or talk. So coming back to the money problem, so we thought, okay, if we spend 2 hours a day on these kids, we can help them earn at least 200 to 500 pounds a month. And that would take anywhere from 3 months to a year for us to change the mindset of the teacher, of the parent, and the student itself, and believe that yes, they can do this. And that's where the problem is, that we're giving them the awareness, but they don't believe that it's possible. It's so much money they can't even digest the concept that it's possible. So far, 3 of our students have actually started making money, first couple of dollars, which is not bad, which has increased the curiosity and desire. There were summer holidays, so recently the summer holidays have ended in the last 2-3 weeks. The normal school has started. We have given a few more admissions in the school. We had schools from the first grade to 10th grade, so we released all the students who were from the first grade to the 6th grade. So now we have students who are 12 years old plus, and we are doing a group system rather than a class system, so they're all in the same group. Even if you're in the 7th grade and 8th grade, doesn't matter, you're in the same group. Um, and the goal is, I'm only focused on helping them getting their video out, and second is to help them make money as a freelancer, because that, if that happens, will change the entire education system, not just in Pakistan but in all the third world countries, because $500 a month for a student is a lot of money. And they will be able to support their families, they will be able to support their school. And we have told them, once you touch the $500 mark, we will charge $100 fees, because then we want to invest back in the school so that we can give them, best quality of infrastructure also, like air conditioning and whatnot, like in any other country. And it's very doable at $100 a month. And that will, if that happens and when that happens, that will fundamentally solve the problem. We don't have to go to USAID anymore, or any funding organization, for running a school, or your country for that matter, to give us money to educate our children, because the children become the money making factory themselves, and the school can support themselves. Right now, there are organizations in our country which pay $5 a month per student for running a private school. So you can take that money from them and run a government school for them for $5 a month per person, which is very low. And at $100, I think that would change a lot of things at the school level, and people, this will become a very profitable business, which will bring a lot of competition, which will increase the quality of the service, and we will be able to solve this education problem in our country and the third world country once and for all, hopefully. So this is where we stand now. What I have done is, all the walls are covered with people from around the world. So I want my students to actually engage in conversation in people like you, and other people like whoever, like a student in London, a student group in London's photos I want on the wall. Oh, here's his WhatsApp number. Here's this girl who is in London. Here's this boy who's in London. This is his Facebook. This is LinkedIn. This is Twitter. This is Instagram. This is WhatsApp number. Say hi to him, just to make a friend, and then through that friendship they can start living on planet Earth from Karachi. Now they have a mindset of global citizen. So I want to decorate all the walls with students and teachers and human beings from around the world, so that they can start engaging, so the shyness goes away, and um, the engagement increases. The languages are learned through friendship rather than the teacher. And the word teachers are not supposed to be in our school. They're supposed to be all facilitators. And we sign a waiver from the parent that we are allowing them to use WhatsApp publicly. You can keep an eye on them. This is how you keep an eye on them. Don't so that some kind of abuse doesn't arise from all this, also, because there's a lot of fear in some people's minds of what's going on. So this is where we are so far. We have around 14 teachers in our school, and a couple of administrative staff. I've made a WhatsApp group. I will make another WhatsApp group for just our school and people who you can manage, who want to engage with you. And then when I did all this the other day, I was thinking, what else do I need? What if I was in school? What do I need to learn? And even though my priority is the wallas and the freelancing for now, but once this is solved, because once it happens, it starts to happen, I wouldn't have to worry about it. It becomes a system, right? Once you're in the system, it just happens. But then we want to engage into other things. So, what are the things we left out in school which need to be taught? And that's where you come in. And I was thinking about it, and he's like, oh, isn't this guy who actually got a book written about this? And that's why I messaged you and said, okay, let's try to implement the learnings of the gurus of the planet, and then give them to the students and the teachers, so they can actually create the next generation of teachers. So this is the summary of what I'm doing, what I want. I would love for your face on the wall saying, "Hi, I'm Nivelle. Say hi to me on Facebook," or something like that. So that majority of them will still not do it because they don't believe it that this guy will actually reply to us. And that's why I wanted to put WhatsApp number, because in WhatsApp it's more personal for some reason, because it's a new service in our country. More people have access to it and they're more engaged in it. But a lot of people are scared to give out their WhatsApp number because they don't want to be bombarded with numbers or calls or, oh, I need this help, or whatever the message might be. So this is where I stand, and I'm reaching out to you to put your face on there, your WhatsApp on there, so that people can just say hi, and if they bother you, you press the block button. And I'm sure out of 10 people, 7 or 8 will not be upsetting you. It's only 1 out of 10, or even less actually, who are bothering. And but that engagement will give them confidence. It will help them language skills. It will help them communication skills, which are the fundamentals which are broken. The communication skill is the number one reason people don't make enough money. People don't learn what they learn. If they had a friend who had the same desire to learn something, I just like you were mentioning, I want to make learning groups. So that's the reason people don't learn. And from now on, all my documentaries have warning sign. You cannot watch this documentary without having two friends in the same room, because alone you can't learn. It's impossible, because it's so dry to learn something new. It's very painstaking for the brain, I think. So enough of my blabbering. So over to you. What do you think of all this? Your observation, and whoever was joining the group, who would you want to join? Who will you kick out, and all that stuff?